Thank you. Ward 4?
Okay, I think at this time I want to speak about the retreat that we had on last Saturday, as you can imagine. Let's just say I did not love it. It started with Councilor Springsteen being excluded, and I get it that there are scheduling conflicts, and somebody, if we can't find a day for everybody, then somebody has to miss out. But she's missed out twice before, and so I'm thinking that she should have been at the top of the list to go, and somebody else should have missed out, even myself. And so that was I kind of went in with a bad attitude because of that. And then I found that, actually going in, I had spent a lot of time talking to people, former counselors, current counselors, who had been to these meetings before. And I was asking them, how do I prepare for this? My big thing was more dog parks. Most people know that. and so I was thinking there'd be presentations or time for us to talk everybody into more dog parks. And that's why I asked at one point if we were going to have PowerPoints, could we give PowerPoint presentation or whiteboard or poster board or something like that, and soon found out, no, we're not going to be doing something like that. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to talk anybody into my point of view, no matter what it is? And so I was kind of thinking, I'm not going to be able to. And that pretty much is how it all turned out. And then just the way the whole thing was set up bothered me. It looked to me like it was a done deal before we started. I was willing to bet other counselors that the priorities coming out of there were going to be sustainability, affordable housing, and a third one. I wasn't sure what the third one was going to be, and I wasn't sure the order, but it was pretty obvious that was going to happen. And part of the reason for that is the way the thing was set up. We were supposed to give two priorities, or propose two priorities, and basically when you have two priorities, you got to go with big stuff. And you can't get into the weeds. I keep saying that. I keep hearing that. I hate that expression, and I'm so guilty. But you can't go in there and say, I want electronic recycling, or I want continuity, bicycle route continuity, or I want tree canopies, because that's small, little bitty things. And so everybody starts off with the big stuff. And then it turns into a big umbrella. Like sustainability is the big one to me. And under the sustainability, there's all these little things. But what we wound up saying was we want more sustainability. And that just, no matter what staff does, they're going to reach that. They're going to check that box. And yes, we have been working on sustainability in the past year, but we might have had something like electronic recycling. We might have had paint recycling. There's a million different things. There's 15 or 20. And so I didn't love the whole idea of only having two priorities. And then when we voted, we basically voted on two priorities. And so that meant that, okay, you go for the big stuff again. And so there was never any chance of something like more dog parks or electronic recycling or anything like that ever actually getting passed. And if you look on our website at prior years, the same thing has happened. All the priorities from prior count, last, I don't know, what do we got? 2018 are out there, 2019, I think 2020. All the priorities are big ticket items. And so I'd like to see it change in our next meetings so that small stuff can get through, that we're all really interested in, whether it's traffic lights, smart traffic lights, that's another small thing, et cetera, et cetera. So I wasn't loving it all. And then, of course, I submitted one priority, and then when I wanted to speak about the second one I had, they voted me down. and on a 7-3 vote and said, no, you can't speak about it. When we started this, we all talked to each other and we said, we're going to disagree on some votes. And, that's fine. But when they say to me, you can't speak, that upset me a lot, and I just walked out. And so that's my whole theory on that meeting. I didn't think it was that great. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Councilor Franks.